Today, Izzy tried to troll a troll and trolled himself. And MMA media scrambles and tries to make some sort of sense and excuses for Sean Strickland being the new middleweight champion of the world. All of this and more today on Matter of Fact MMA. Let's get into it. Let's go. This is a glorious day. I wish I would have picked Sean Strickland, but this is a glorious day because Sean Strickland is the new middleweight champion of the world. I'm not a Sean Strickland fan, but this couldn't have went down better. I'm so happy that Israel is beltless. Israel has another loss on his record, and Israel tried to troll a troll and trolled himself. Let's get into it. So let me just start with that line right there. That's a bar. You know what I'm saying? I'm on here dropping bars. When I say Israel tried to troll a troll and trolled himself, this is the deal. And I think this is where MMA media is struggling and so many people are struggling. Let's get into it. Sean Strickland is not the person that he is portraying in the media. He is a dialed up, a turned up version of himself, but he's not quite Kobe Covington with it. But at the same time, that's not really him. And people confuse things, right? And people think, oh, this guy's this, and this guy talks bad about everybody, and this guy does this. The fact of the matter is when you really look at Sean Strickland is just, he's trolling in a comedic manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, the man doesn't really believe half of the junk that he's saying. And what I find to be so hilarious about MMA media is they really think that the dude hates women, that he only wants them, at home, not in the workplace, all of these different things. He doesn't want them to vote. And I hear MMA media repeating it like, oh, this, wait till the media hears Sean Strickland and his views on women. Bro, he's doing that so your stupid A self will cover him. You imbecile. Like, I hate MMA media for how they always fall for the troll job and really think this is really how the person is. When clearly, if you were in the real world, maybe working a real job and not, like, this is not my real job doing these videos. If you're working a real job around real people and didn't just get in front of a camera all the time and be like, oh, Sean Strickland is this and that, you would understand his tone doesn't even sound real. He clearly says things and looks around, like during a press conference, because he's like a comedian. He is looking to get the reaction from the people in the audience, which in this case would be you idiots being MMA media. He's looking, hey, come on, guys. He's looking around because he's gauging the audience to see if his joke landed or not. But he doesn't really believe that. This guy's coached by Eric Nixon. He's at Extreme Couture. Like, bro, do you really think that if he was really spewing all of this crap like Kobe was to everybody, that they would train with him? You know what I mean? He, like, well known. I mean, bro, Eric Nixon is coaching Francis Ngannou to fight Tyson Fury, and Francis Ngannou is friends with Israel Adesanya. Do you think that if Sean Strickland was really against all of these different people and races and women and everything, that you think Big Francis wouldn't just roll up on him real quick? You know what I'm saying? Like, quit taking these fighters at face value, bro. Okay? Because that's where y'all got in trouble with Israel Adesanya. Let's get into Izzy trolling himself. So, Sean Strickland even said this in the post-fight press conference. He's trolling Izzy the entire fight week about being the Chinaman, about whatever he does to his dogs and everything. And Izzy, instead of just coming out and stomping these things out, instead of just saying, look, dude, at the end of the day, the reason why I said that I was Chinese is because I used to fight in China. The people for the fight organization that I used to fight for, they were trying their best to kind of endear me to the crowd. So they told me to get on there and say, you see me, you see my, my skin color, you think I'm this, you think I'm that. I'm really Chinese. And he did the little stupid heart, right? But he has said before that the people for that organization, they didn't force him, but they kind of pushed him because they were trying to somewhat make him a fan's favorite and endear him to the Chinese fans. That's all he had to say. But Izzy is so, he makes fun of the rest of us for saying that we're living in a box and we're boxed in and he's free. But he is a prisoner of his own identity that he's created with MMA. So instead of just coming out and saying why he said he was Chinese, he leans hard into it. He wants to wear Chinese colored shorts. He wants the red shorts representing their flag. He wants to, go through the week and kind of make little comments about dogs and stuff because he's trying to show, oh, you can't box me in. You can't make me fall for your troll job. I troll you. But the reality of it is he trolled himself. Because during this whole fight week, it's been said numerous times by Izzy, by pundits, by everybody, that Sean Strickland doesn't care. He doesn't care about a lot of this. He's just a guy that wants to get in there and scrap. He's just a guy that wants to fight. And he wants to make a check, but he's not caring about the same things a lot of other fighters care about. Therefore, Izzy, early in the week, should have stomped everything out. He should have told his explanation for why he said he was a Chinese fighter. He should have, whatever he was going to do about the whole dog situation. I don't know what you do about that. If you apologize to PETA, I don't know, you make a dog promo about, I'm donating money to a dog charity because of this old video I did. Or Izzy, say I was young and I was drunk and I just made a video. Who cares? But by him leaning into things, which he tends to do, that might work with other fighters, and you might be able to get in the head of Robert Whitaker, and you might be able to lean into certain things with Paulo Costa and all of these other guys. But that's not going to work on a troll like Sean Strickland. It's not going to work. And so as Izzy kind of shared his energy with this troll job and shout out to the MMA guru who's doing the Lord's work, who also assisted Sean Strickland in this. Shout out to him because he plays a major role in all of this about really bringing all of these accusations and all this crap that Izzy did to the forefront. Shout out to him. Bro, at the end of the day, Izzy split his energy, his fight energy. He's so big on energy and vibes and all of this crap. Bro, you split your energy the whole week trying to kind of lean into what Sean Strickland was saying instead of staying focused. So then we get to the fight night. This is where he trolled himself. When Sean Strickland said at the press conference, the post-fight press conference, all Izzy had to do was say why he said the Chinese fighter line. But instead, he's an idiot and he leans into coming out in the shorts and everything. This gives more power to the joke, to the troll job that Sean Strickland put into the world. And you thought you were leaning into it and was going to work in your favor, and it did not. So when you get to the night of the fight, Sean Strickland walks out. He looks very unconfident. He looks nervous. He looks like the moment could be getting to him, okay? At the same time, Izzy walks out with extreme confidence. He's extremely confident. He looks carefree. He looks powerful. He looks not necessarily intimidating, but intimidating from the energy he's putting out in the world that I'm supremely confident. I'm the champion. Let's go. And what you saw in that first round, and I've seen so many MMA media members try to make sense of this, but I'm going to tell you what really went down in this fight. I'm not going to be Luke Thomas and do a technical breakdown, but I'm going to let you know what happened. In the first round, what Sean Strickland was doing is Sean Strickland In the first round, there was a filling out period, but he was slowly taking away Izzy's space. He was getting closer and closer and closer to him, and he was slowly closing the gap in the octagon. And what you were seeing is he had to take a few jabs, he had to take a few leg kicks, but he's slowly closing the gap on Izzy. And while Izzy made videos making fun of Sean Strickland's style and how he blocks punches, the reality of it is what that style did is it allowed him to enter Israel Adesanya's space. And Israel Adesanya needs space because he doesn't have super good boxing. So he needs space in order to create his offense, for his leg kicks, for his body kicks, every now and then a high kick, a question mark kick. And he uses his jab to find range. His jab finds range. And then every now and then he does straight shots and he does looping shots, but he needs space. And Sean Strickland doing all of this, like all of these pundits were making fun of him. He's coming closer and he's taking away that space. And without that space, Israel Adesanya could not get his offense off. But in the first round, you're watching the pocket collapse on him. If you watch football, you know what I'm talking about. The pocket is collapsing on him and Sean Strickland is moving in. He's moving in. And Izzy is still confident. He's still posturing, and he kind of, he'd move to the left and he'd move to the right, and he's still posturing. He's looking confident. And then when Sean Strickland hit him with that jab cross, caught him with that right hand, and floored him, and then swarms him, that changed everything for Israel Adesanya. That's when Izzy, who tried to troll a troll, trolled himself, because you thought you was going to come in there and be all supremely confident and be all arrogant and all of these things. You thought he didn't have power. You thought his twitchy style, you thought you were going to be able to find a way around it. You thought he was going to give you space, and he took your space. And I saw Luke Thomas did a little kind of somewhat of a breakdown of this. I saw so many people, shout out to everyone at MMA Fighting. I love all of their content, but I saw so many of them struggling to make sense of Sean Strickland winning this. When Izzy went back after the first round to his corner, he was rattled, and he kept whispering to Eugene to find out what shot hit him and how he got hit. The second round, posture, body language had changed. He still had confidence in the second round, but he knew, okay, this guy's dropped me. I am now at a deficit already in this fight. Okay? Already at a deficit. Already, if he goes to the scorecards, I'm losing after one round. So he's got to make this up. And now he's thinking in his head, this guy actually has power and has dropped me. He's also embarrassed because he definitely did not think that was going to happen. He didn't want that to happen. He's the main character in his movie. That wasn't what was written in the script. Spielberg didn't write that in the script, is what Izzy's thinking. So he's out there. Now, the second round, he's still playing his game. He's trying to move around. He's trying to move around. And it looked like to me, Sean allowed him to have a little bit of space because Sean Strickland is trying to figure out what's this guy going to do now. Like, now that I dropped him, how's he going to come out? He might come out firing. So he gave him that space. I would give the second round to Izzy. Izzy kind of moved around. He kind of did his thing. From then on, the fight all went downhill for Israel Adesanya because he trolled himself. The third round, you could tell even when he's going to his corner, Eugene Behrman and Izzy together are struggling on how he's going to crack that code. Because what you saw in the third round is Sean Strickland collapsed the pocket and he took that space away. And he got so close to Izzy he had no room to throw straight shots. He couldn't throw straight shots. He had to loop them. He's looping them around. And he kind of posture to the side, throw a looping shot. And Sean Strickland's hands are already up. He's blocking all of this. He's blocking all of that. He's blocking that. He kind of has his own his own style of the Philly shell boxing style, but it's not the Philly shell. So let's not get that confused. But what he was doing is he took away Israel Adesanya's space in the third, the fourth, and the fifth round. And Izzy had no room to get his offense off. And what I've seen from Israel Adesanya is when in the middle of a fight, is when a fighter takes his space, Israel's offense doesn't work well without the space. So in the first Pereira fight in the UFC, Israel had space pretty much the entire fight to kind of get his offense off, which is why he was probably winning on the scorecards. In the final round, Alex Pereira collapsed the pocket, nutted up and said, I'm going to take this title, and moved in on him. And as Israel kept backing up against the cage wall through the whole last round, trying to parry and get away from Alex Pereira alpha'd him out of his space and took his space away. And Israel couldn't move, and eventually Alex Pereira caught him with a few shots and got him out of there. In the rematch, what happened? In the rematch, Izzy tricked Alex Pereira. And when Alex Pereira thought he was collapsing the pocket, in this case, in the first fight, Alex Pereira took Israel's space. He collapsed the pocket. In the second fight, Izzy allowed him into his space. Therefore, he could catch him with that right hand when Alex backed up. When Alex barely hesitated and stopped for a second and was kind of leaning upright, Izzy was able to wham and catch him with that shot when Alex Pereira thought he was just covering up and it was going to be over for him. Izzy allowed him into that pocket, into that structure in that case. Alex didn't take that from him. Sean Strickland was taking the space from Israel Adesanya, and there was nothing he could do about it. There was absolutely nothing he could do. And Sean Strickland moved in. You saw a confused Eugene Behrman. You saw a somewhat desperate Israel Adesanya in between rounds, and they could not figure out a way out around that. And I've seen Luke Thomas and all these people talk about this, and they're missing the point. In this fight, Sean Strickland manned up. He alphaed up, he nutted up, and he went in there, and he took the fight from Israel Adesanya. And this is kind of like almost like a metaphor in life in a sense. You have this flashy, stylish guy that is Israel Adesanya that the whole world thinks is so cool. And he's just the guy. He's the guy, man. I just want to be like him. I just want to hang out with him and all this stupid stuff, right? Bro. And he's been well trained, and he's got all the money for the best fight camps and fly in the best training partners, and he's been fighting for years, and he's flashy, and he dances, and the UFC allows him to have special octagon entrances that they don't give to many other people, except randomly T-City. I don't know why he got that special purge entrance at one time against Volkanovski, but whatever. Bro, Sean Strickland, and, you can say whatever you want about Izzy, but, he blatantly, his family grew up with a little bit of money, whether he tries to stomp that rumor out or not. That's what everything points to. And the guy steps in there with the dude who, and I'm not a Sean Strickland fan, but a dude who comes from a rough life. A crazy, wild, abusive father, a mother who was a drug addict and had all of these issues. And he comes in there, you could tell this guy's been scraping and fighting his whole life. A guy that doesn't care about cars and things as much as, he's almost like, as far as the outside of the octagon stuff, he's almost like a Cowboy Cerrone. He likes motorcycles and four-wheelers and regular, driving all-terrain type cars, but he's not a Lambo type guy like Izzy and all the jewelry and all the flashy things. And what happened is, though, even though Israel Adesanya is the more skilled fighter, is the more technical fighter, and for all these flashy tactics and everything that he has, Sean Strickland alphaed him. He went in there, and it didn't matter about the game plan that Izzy had or Eugene had. It did not matter about all the skills, the flashy knockouts and stoppages that Izzy has had. Sean went in there and manned up and got in his face, gave him no space, and beat the H out of him for 5 rounds and almost finished him in the first round. And then at the end of the fight, he broke Israel Adesanya. Yeah, to you Izzy fans, he broke him. At the end of the fight, Sean Strickland, with seconds left, gets in his face, starts cursing him out, calling him the Chinaman, challenging his manhood. He alphaed up on him. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the coaches and all the best gyms and fly in all the best training partners. You can travel the world and hang out with all the stars and be on the Breakfast Club and do everything. But when you meet somebody from the school of hard knocks, and I'm not a Sean Strickland fan, I'd like to say again, but this is just how the fight played out. When you meet somebody that's cut from a different cloth, that wasn't handed nothing, that doesn't have all the flashy expenses or anything, that has a straight up and down gym like Extreme Couture, has a solid, grounded coach, like Eric Nixit, not like Eugene, and well, the team sticks together. Stop, bro. Stop. When you have all of these things, he went in there and he alphaed Israel Adesanya out of this fight completely. And when he was calling him out at the end, and he's flexing in front of him, he's standing with his hands down and he's flexing on the guy. He's flexing on Izzy. He's cursing him out. He's yelling at him. Izzy didn't even throw a jab back. No leg kick. He didn't try a huge question mark kick or side kick or anything to try to catch him in that moment, because when I saw that happen, I thought, oh no. Sean Strickland's going to get knocked out right now within seconds left, because Sean Strickland has always said that that's how he lives his life. When he's in the driver's seat, when everything's going good for him, he self-sabotages himself. And I thought, oh, he's going to do it again. But Izzy did not answer. He didn't do anything. He just stared at Sean because he knew that you got out-alphaed. That you just had not only this fight, not only all the money on the table, the move up to 205, the status as being a GOAT at middleweight, which is dead. It's over. All you Izzy fans, Stylebender fans, anime fans, whoever y'all are, it's over. There's only one GOAT at middleweight. His name is Anderson the Spider Silva. It's over. We don't want to hear nothing else about Izzy being the GOAT. We don't want to hear it no more. He's lost 2 out of his last 3 fights. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to, Anderson Silva had like 16 title wins, or 11 in a row, 12 in a row, 16 in a row. Who cares? Izzy ain't got that many. It's just what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about PD allegations and all of that stuff, but at the end of the day, there's one GOAT at middleweight. His name is Anderson the Spider Silva. You can get that Stylebender stuff up out of here. Go ahead, take the staircase and just walk on out. Nevertheless, at the end of this fight, Izzy was a broken man because he couldn't even respond to Sean Strickland. He couldn't even throw anything at him at the end when Sean nutted up on him and showed him, like, what's up now? Do you see what I'm talking about? That's y'all's champion. Do you see what I'm talking about? And a lot of people, we all been saying this for a while. And I know y'all bought into the vibe, y'all bought into the hype that that's who he was, and he's going to be the new age middleweight GOAT and this and that. But bro, what happened on Saturday night is a guy went in there. A guy saw Israel Adesanya walk into the lunch table in high school with a tray of food, and he was sitting down, and Sean Strickland walked over to his table, slapped him upside his cheek, took a bite of his apple, took a bite out of his pizza, threw his tray on the ground, pushed Israel Adesanya out of his chair, reached in his pocket, took his lunch money, and left him. That's what y'all saw on Saturday night. Straight up. Ain't no other way around it. And his coach looks silly too, because he couldn't figure out a game plan. And he's supposed city kickboxing. He's the great Eugene Behrman. Oh, he's the greatest coach ever. Nah, Eric Nixick might be the greatest coach ever. You know what I'm saying? Like that. What? And now what y'all gonna say? Now they gonna act like, Izzy had come out, oh, I had an injury. My whole right knee went out and my left toe fell off. You all just didn't see it. But I'm the main character in this movie and I lost my right hand. He's going to make something up. And y'all are going to keep on trying to shoot him, shoot him bail for losing that fight. You're going to try to come up, oh, Izzy was having personal problems and all of this. You don't think Sean Strickland got personal problems? You ever hear the stuff this dude be talking about? You don't think that man's got personal issues walking into the octagon? Nah, he got out-alphaed out of his title. He tried to troll a troll. He got trolled himself. Instead of stomping all of that out early in the week and being free and entering into the octagon and doing his thing, he didn't do all of that. Now Sean Strickland is the new middleweight champion of the world. We don't know what's going to happen with Izzy. We ain't tripping. You didn't even have to take this fight. You didn't even have to do all this, but you just had the headline in Sydney, and now look at you. You look silly. You said all of that stuff about Drickus not taking the fight. You should have fought Drickus. You might have had a better chance, because maybe Drickus wasn't going to out-alpha you, although he might have. So, at the end of the day, that's just what it was. UFC 293 should be called, you tried to troll a troll and you trolled yourself. Because that's exactly what you did. It should be called I out-alpha'd you. It should be called UFC Time to Nut Up, because that's what Sean Strickland did. Bro, I don't know what else to tell y'all. It was a tremendous word for a guy from Kentucky. It was exhilarating. It was exhilarating watching Sean Strickland go out there and dismantle Izzy and do it in front of the whole world. It was great to see his coach rattled. It was great to see Izzy rattled. And I don't got no sympathy for him at all. I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell y'all. I ain't got too much more to say about that. There were some other good fights that went down the card that I'm going to do on a later video. I'm going to drop it out here for you either tomorrow or something. But it ain't no secret what this card really was. This card was all about the main event. So that's what we're going to talk about. It's what it's on everybody's lips is the main event. Pause. Bro, that's just what happened. And to watch all of these MMA people that break down fights and what are we going to do now? I can't believe I'm in a world where Sean Strickland is the middleweight champion. Bro, get used to it. And to see everyone instantly go into making excuses for why Izzy lost and everything. How about Sean Strickland just out-alphaed him and y'all made fun of his style and his fighting, his defense. Y'all made fun of everything. He outstruck Izzy on the feet. No need for the ground. No need for grappling. And y'all just need to accept it. The guy that you put all your faith in is not that guy. He's never been that guy. He fought an aging Anderson Silva, beat him, and then the whole world's like, he's the guy now. No, he's not. He's just not, bro. It's just, yeah, he had some good wins. And he's still going to go on to have good wins. I'm not saying he's not a good fighter. But at the end of the day, it didn't go his way. It just did not. And I'm watching everybody just trying to make sense of this. And I don't understand how this happened. It happened because he collapsed the pocket. He took the space from Izzy. Izzy had no room to work his offense. And it was game over because Izzy's not going to sit there. He's not going to sit there and box. When Sean collapsed that pocket and Sean moved in on him, if Izzy had real boxing, he could have still stood his ground. But all he could do was skirt to either side of Sean and tried to get away. And Sean would cut him off and bing, bing, and hit him again. That's just what it is. So, if you're an Izzy fan, I know you're having a rough morning. You might want to call in to work or something, you know what I'm saying? And you might want to call in for the whole week because everybody on the internet, on Instagram, Twitter, and everything, we going to keep going at Izzy's head for the rest of the whole week. It's what's gonna happen because it was the greatest, funniest thing we have all ever witnessed. And going to this fight, everybody, oh, Izzy haters, you just don't understand the greatness. As you see, what greatness? What greatness went down on Saturday night? I didn't see not one lick of greatness. I don't know. Nevertheless, we here on a happy Monday morning. We doing our thing. I got my coffee here. You know what I'm saying? We doing our thing. I appreciate you guys for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll check you next time. Peace.